Hello.
Then, now,
Bow down to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever,
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, welcome to episode number 179 of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We're here for Monday, the 7th of July, 2025, coming off Money in the Bank. Some big changes to the show, not so much on the Raw end. Raw does have a new Mr. Money in the Bank. His name is Bronson Steiner. But, you know, Chad Gable's still WWE Champion. Trick and Mello still World Tag Team Champions. And now tonight marks the start of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Obviously, we did the bracketology. The brackets for both tournaments are now out. Tonight we see the first two matches from each tournament as in the King of the Ring tournament. The opening match of the show is John Cena against Dirty Dom, and the main event is CM Punk against Ethan Page. And on the Queen of the Ring side, it's Lyra Valkyria against Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair versus the Intercontinental Champion Tiffany Stratton. Plus a whole lot more as the build towards King of the Ring and K-Pop Demon Hunters Presents Evolution begins officially. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We start the show off with, you know, the pageantry, the glitz and the glam of the King of the Ring tournament. You know, a hype video going over the history of King of the Ring, what it means to the men and women involved in the King Queen of the Ring tournaments this year. You know, running down the previous winners. I don't, off the top of my head, believe that there is any King of the Ring winners we would be banned from mentioning. I don't think, you know, he won one. And yeah, it was a Royal Rumble that Vince booked himself to win. So I think we can go over all the winners. You know, I don't mind mentioning the fact that Brock Lesnar existed. So, yeah. But yes, King of the Ring tournament, going over all the winners. Hype. It's now time to begin the tournament. You know, Pyro goes off, the King and Queen of the Ring crowns are on the stage, and all of that. And then the first music we hear for the King of the Ring tournament this year is Big Match John. He makes his way out, John Cena, Dominic Mysterio, first round of the King of the Ring tournament to kick off tonight's show. 84. Oh my fucking good god. So I'm looking at the match range, okay? John Cena the game told me John Cena was tiring after 13 minutes, not even going all out. That's how washed my go is in this game. But more importantly, what I have noticed is it involves the in-ring ratings, but not John Cena's. We'll get to it in a minute. But an exceptional match to kick off the King of the Ring. John Cena does advance in the tournament. He beats Dirty Dom in 13-14 with an AA to pick up the win. He's been down on his luck recently. You know, he lost to Tanahashi, lost Money in the Bank. This is basically his last chance to, you know, do his fans proud and win that 17th world title. And he moves on to the next round where he will face the winner of Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in the other King of the Ring. I will mention here, you know, because ties should always be possible in the King of the Ring. These do have 30-minute time limits. So, yeah. But John Cena and Dom only need 13. 80 for John Cena. 99 for Dominic Mysterio. They do have great chemistry, which I guess helped. But that is a good rating. And it's fine, because normally I see ratings like that and I'm like, oh, I've got to start finding time for that guy. I have stuff for Dom, it's fine. Like, but he's now proving that hopefully, if I do the stuff with him, he's going to make it work. But yeah, John Cena does advance in the King of the Ring to the quarterfinals. Yeah, because the semi-finals are the Raw and SmackDown finals. So yeah, so the quarterfinal. The Raw semis, I should say. Then cut backstage. Ethan Page and Bronson Steiner. They're the only two male members of the Nexus here tonight. And Ethan Page goes, I've heard all the questions. For the past 24 hours, people doubting me. People saying, who invited Bro? Okay, how did Bro end up here? When they saw the King of the Ring lineups and they saw All Ego on the marquee. Well, here's the thing, we're just too damn successful. Oba, United States Champion, Trick and Mello Tag Team Champions, Bronson Steiner, future World Champion with this briefcase he's got right here. That only leaves all ego. Okay? It's about time you start putting respect on my name, because I didn't come here just to get this far, I came here to get even further. CM Punk. I've known Punk for a while. Me and Punk have crossed paths before tonight. But Punk wants to come back here and he wants to try and take down this thing he helped create. Well, too bad, because the only reason the antidote failed was because all ego weren't involved, okay, buddy? So tonight, in the main event of Monday Night Raw, I'm going to have Big Bronson by my side. And he's going to help the Nexus achieve yet another milestone here in WWE. And Chad Gable, you're a smart cookie. But I've got one over on you. Then Bronson Steiner steps into frame. He goes, you threw everybody you could at me. Every single person you stepped to me, I've put him down. Your hero, John Cena, thought he was going to walk in a Money in the Bank and take that briefcase. Well, guess who's got it? The dog's got it. And they're the same people who I've ripped through, stand in my path to glory, to greatness, to immortality. And I'm going to tear through every single one of them who gets in my way. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, John Cena, anyone you want to throw at me. I'll take them out. Because I'm that guy around here now, and this briefcase marks the beginning of the Bronson Steiner era. And then cut back to Kathy Kelly is interviewing Bianca Belair backstage. Jakara's obviously by her side. She said, Kathy says, Bianca last week, a big match was confirmed coming up in 2 weeks' time at Evolution. You will defend the WWE Women's Championship against a woman that you know all too well in Bayley. Bianca goes, Kathy, last year, myself and Bayley, we went at it. Bayley was the champion at the time, I was the challenger, and Bayley went 2-up on me. Okay, it's not something I'm proud of in my career, but it's what sort of made me realize I need to change things around the way I do things around here. But Bayley, that whole time, she was pretending like she was this goody two-shoes. Okay? She was trying to come back to being, the beloved hugger, the icon that women around the world looked up to. But she had Cora by her side back then. Okay, people didn't like to hear what I was saying, but I was saying the truth back then. And now, Bayley's looking to work her way back up the ladder, and she doesn't even do it by herself. Okay, she's got these Nexus girls in her back pocket, feeding her title opportunity. You're telling me Lyra went to Bobby Roode and got her a title match instead of her earning a title match? And I'm not supposed to be sus, okay? Girl, miss me with that. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I couldn't do last year. I'm going to beat Bayley's ass, put her down, and prove that you need to earn a championship opportunity against me, okay? Then Lyra walks in. She just laughs and goes, Bianca, you do talk a lot. And, you're a great champion. You've fought off a lot of great competitors in your time. But Bayley earned that opportunity by beating you all those weeks ago. And if you beat the champion, you deserve a title opportunity. But it's fine, because if Bayley's not going to get the job done, the Nexus are right behind her. Because she's going to be with us. And Bianca goes, girl, you ain't talking to me, so talking about earning opportunities at my championship, knowing that you came up short in Money in the Bank, okay? You could have had that opportunity right now in your hand, but you didn't, because you failed. And Lyra just laughs and goes, oh, you want me to earn a WWE Women's Championship opportunity? That's fine. Watch what I'm about to do out there. Watch this Queen of the Ring tournament. I don't want to cash in. I want to prove that the future is now, that I'm the best here on Raw. Maybe I'll win that Queen of the Ring tournament, and maybe, if you somehow manage to make it past Bayley, I'll see you down the road, champ. And Lyra just sort of walks off, because her match with Liv is up next. Gets an 88. Lyra carries of obs. Lyra puts Liv down in 14:23 for Nightwing, 89 for Lyra, 81 for Liv. Babyface Liv fighting from underneath against the heel, her good role So maybe this match would have been fun because, you know, a babyface wrestler, you know, a natural babyface wrestler with a babyface moveset, you know, working as a chicken shit heel, you know, there's a bad contrast in styles. But yeah, Lyra does pick up the win and advances. She faces, I think, the winner of Tiffany and Charlotte in the next round. Yeah. 89 for Lyra, 81 for Liv. So Lyra does advance in the Queen of the Ring tournament here tonight. Oh, why did this Joe Tessitore tank this, apparently? Okay. Well noted, I'm not going to rate him in the next one I do then. This is a thing, you know, because for King of the Ring I sort of want to, like, add to, like, the presentation, you know, when the glam and the glitz and, you know, all of that about the tournament this year, like, really make it, like, this thing. We're going to do these, which are, like, sit-down interviews, but like, pre-taped sit-down interviews. Joe Tess hosts, you know, we've got 2 people in there who are in the tournament. For next week's matches, we've got one with LA Knight and Gunther, one with Cody and Seth. And LA Knight and Gunther is the first one up. And Joe Tess, you know, he welcomes LA Knight in. LA Knight sits across, Gunther sits across from him. And Joe Tess, he goes, Gunther, I'll start with you. He goes, this King of the Ring tournament, what does it mean for you to win this tournament and go on to SummerSlam to wrestle for the World Championship? And Gunther goes, the last time I was the World Heavyweight Champion, it ended in disgrace. It ended in embarrassment for me. And ever since that day, I made it my mission to return to the top where I belong. This King of the Ring tournament is made for me. Because the Ring General is the King of the Ring. I just don't have a dress-up crown to prove it. But let's make one thing perfectly clear. Whenever I step into that ring, I beat everybody. I'm the greatest to ever do it. And I've heard so many people say this tournament is a stacked on the Raw side. I don't see it. You've got what, John Cena? 1 foot out the door. Can barely hang anymore. I could beat him on his best day, and this is far from his best day. It might be very close to his worst day. Cody Rhodes. I'd love to run it back with Cody. Cody got one over on me last time, but this time I'm going to see everything he's got coming. Seth. Seth can talk all he wants about how he left to come back because of the way that things were going on around here in this company. But let's make one thing clear. I was the one who chased Seth Rollins away for 6 months. And I'll gladly do that again. CM Punk. The man who calls himself the best in the world. I've disagreed with that for 15 years. Because it's always been me. And if me and him were to face off, I would prove it. And then there's you. He looks across at LA Knight. He goes, no disrespect to you. You won King of the Ring 2 years ago. You're looking to win your second. You and I, we haven't been able to do this one-on-one. But now I have you face to face. LA Knight. You are the embodiment of everything that I must destroy. Don't get it twisted. In that ring, you're a great competitor. But you're too focused on being this, dressing like this, to truly be worthy of being king, and certainly of being worthy of beating me. Next week, LA, you're the first on the long line of people in the way for me to get back to the top, get back to my redemption, and to get back to showing the world who the best professional wrestler on God's earth is today. Because it's not you. It's the Ring General. Then Joe Tess just turns to LA Knight. LA Knight, he takes his sunglasses off, he leans in, he goes, Gunther, you're right about one thing. You and I, we're polar opposites. We're basically the antithesis of one another. I use my undeniable cavorca, my machismo, to get these people behind me to rally behind me and have everybody saying LA Knight. And that led me to the World Heavyweight Championship. And that's a feeling I need to taste again so bad, Gunther. You're big, and you're bad, and you're tough, and you're on a hell of a run right now. But let me talk to you. I ain't gonna be no walk in the park. There ain't gonna be no joke. I ain't gonna be somebody you're gonna roll over to try and spread your message. Okay? Because I may be entertaining, I may be loud, I may have charisma, and I may have fun with the people out there, but once the going gets going, there's nobody who gets going quite like L.A. Knight. And next week, Gunny, you've got to rack up all your excuses. You had your excuses last time. You lost the championship so quickly. You had your excuses time after time after time after again. You've lost. You weren't prepared. You weren't this. You weren't that. Well, Ring General, when this entertainer puts his size 12 boot right up your ass next week and goes on to become King of the Ring, you'll have no choice but to accept that there's only one man in this room right now that's been King of the Ring, is gonna be King of the Ring, and is gonna be World Champion once again, and it ain't you, Gunther. It's L.A. Knight. Yeah. Then get a quick backstage segment. Bronson Reed and Duke Hudson, yapping it up. They both had chances to chase the United States Championship recently. And, they're sort of just chatting about how they're both big and tough men. And then they sort of, just agree to, tonight we're going to have a gentleman's war to see who the tougher man is right now and, who gets to elevate their stock on the totem pole further. So Duke Hudson and Bronson Reed tonight. 90 rated match. ZSJ versus Jorge Santana. Speaking of match, to sort of elevate your stock in the US title picture. Yeah. So Jorge Santana beats ZSJ, splitting the block in 13:37. 77 for Jorge, 90 for ZSJ. Santana grabs the mic after and he goes, well. The ruler, the destroyer, everything he wants to call himself, he ain't here tonight. Okay? Now, he's a tough guy. He's destroyed everybody that's been in his path. But when it comes little old me stepping to him, all of a sudden the ruler has got a kingdom he's got to go hide in instead of coming here and face it off against the next guy. Oba, I don't know where you were raised. Nigeria, raised up over there, getting a tough break and coming here and making a name for yourself. That's great, because I was raised on the streets. The streets of New York. Left to fight or die by myself, and I made it here. And I made it to the WWE for one purpose, to be a champion on Monday Night Raw. And I don't care if you've got that championship, if you think you're the toughest obstacle to overcome here on Monday Night Raw right now. I want it. That United States Championship, it don't belong around your waist, it belongs around mine. 'Cause I'm from New York, born and raised, and that United States Championship, it's coming home with me. Slams the mic down. Jorge Santana calls out Obafemi, who isn't here tonight. So yeah. Then come backstage. Speaking of Nexus members not being here, Mello and Trick also, taking a break after Money in the Bank. And Fraxium are with the rest of the tag teams. He goes, right, I know what you're all thinking. Me and mi amigo, we'd be disappointed at Money in the Bank trying to get those tag team championships back from the hands of the Nexus. And then the Guns are like, yeah, you say disappointed. Okay, we knew we were going to lose because your bitch asses lost last time. Okay? The last thing we want is for those titles to be hoarded away in that group. Okay, so we've got to find who the best team is in this room to take them on. And then we just hear, Tyler Bate just chuckle and go, well, it certainly ain't you. Oh, sorry, who's Tyler Bate? Dudley. Chuckle go, it's not you. When's the last time you even won a match, Austin? And I was like, oh, that's cool. Dudley Davis over here is talking to me, okay? And then Akira Tozawa and Humberto and Zerg step in the middle. They go, guys, arguing is going to get us nowhere. We need to find out who in this locker room has what it takes to regain those tag team championships from that group. And it's going to be us. And then Chris Bay and Nate Dogg, of course, Path of the Dragon, putting themselves in the spotlight once again. You know what? We're the ones who have the issues with the Nexus, okay? You know, Punk is trying to take care of Ethan Page tonight, and that's our guy, so we're going to have his back. So if he's going to try and take the group out, we got to take the group out too. And that's just the big argument all the tag teams want next at the Tag Team Championship. And then cut to the ring. Alexa's in the ring. She's doing Moment of Bliss with the 4 women who are going to be in the first round Queen of the Ring matches next week. She invites them to the ring. First of all, her guest, Jade Cargill, her and Malcolm Bivens come out. And Alexa sort of just chuckles, makes a joke, about how her and Bivens are like the same height. And he goes, "Oh, no, we're not, okay? That's not even funny, okay? You think that's funny? This bitch Jade Cargill will step on you right now if you don't shut it." She goes, "Oh, sorry." He goes, "Anyway, there's not a single man or woman in either of these tournaments that has what it takes to stop this woman, Jade Cargill, from becoming Queen of the Ring. Every single person that's tried has been put down." And then I was like, "Well, apart from Bianca." He goes, "Don't you mention her name, okay? Because when we win this Queen of the Ring tournament, if Bianca's still the champion, because she's got to deal with Bayley, if Bianca's still the champion, Jade will see her at SummerSlam and get her lick back, okay?" And Blair Davenport comes out. She goes, first of all, why is Malcolm Bivens in here doing all the talking for Jade? Okay, I thought this was supposed to be a Queen of the Ring summit, but Bivens, you don't belong here, okay? Now, it's all for naught, because Jade isn't going to go to SummerSlam because she's going to lose to me if she gets past Tegan, which, let's face it, she's going to. She's not exactly going through a good time right now. And then it's like, well, excuse me, what makes you think you're getting through? Because you got me in the first round next week, and I'm gonna get my champion. It's been far too long since Alexa Bliss was a world champion around here. Okay, so never will be's like you need to know your place. And then Tegan Knox comes out and she goes, "Why are we all fighting? Okay, next week we're supposed to be fighting in this Queen of the Ring tournament. So, come on, let's just get it all together." They also just glare at Tegan and go, "Nah, we're good." And then a 4-way brawl breaks out. Bobby Roode comes out and makes a tag match for right now. Alexa Bliss and Tegan Knox against Jade Cargill and Blair Davenport. Match against an 80. Sure, we'll take that. Blair and Jade do pick up the win. Jade pinning Alexa with the Jaded in 9 minutes and 7. After, Tegan, it's not a turn or, teasing a turn or anything. It's just she's not got very good chemistry with Alexa. This isn't a person that she's teamed with or is friends with. So, their timing is sort of, all over the place, and she, accidentally fucks Alexa over. And she's you can see she feels bad about it, but alas, shit happens. 75 for Tegan, 84 for Alexa, 75 for Blair, and an 80 for Jade. So, yeah, Jade and Blair with the last laugh here tonight. And there will be 2 singles matches next week in the Queen of the Ring. It'll be Jade and Tegan and Alexa and Blair. I'll see what happens there. #bars. And then cut backstage. Lyra, she's in a celebratory mood. She qualified for the next round of Queen of the Ring, and she bumps into Cora and Roxy. She goes, "Girls, the boys have done their job. Bronson Steiner, he's Mr. Money in the Bank. Oba, US Champion, Trick and Mello, Tag Champs, Ethan can be King of the Ring. And I realized that Bayley could be the Women's Champion. She's going to join us after Evolution. You're the Tag Champions, longest reigning of all time. I let the side down at Money in the Bank. I should be Queen of the Ring, or Miss Money in the Bank right now, but I'm not. But it's okay. Because the reason I'm not isn't my fault. There's another group here in WWE that still thinks they're on top, even though their time has come and gone. And they got in our way. So you two are going to take those championships and go over to SmackDown and deal with some business we had to deal with over there this week. As for me, I'm going to become Queen. And then, after Evolution, when I'm Queen and Bayley is champion and me and Bayley finally make ourselves official, SummerSlam will be the greatest night of our life. SummerSlam will be the night that the Nexus girls take over. We then see Dominic. He's frustrated about his defeat to John Cena. You know, he's the first person to lose to John Cena in God knows how long. Since before WrestleMania, I believe, because he lost to Okada. He technically won the tag match, but Tanahashi got the pin. So then he lost to Tanahashi and he lost Money at the Bank. So yeah, Dirty Dom frustrated. And Christian, of course, goes in on him about this. He goes, "What are you doing, huh? You're supposed to be my prodigy, my greatest son, my best son. You were my firstborn, Dominic." But John Cena, he hasn't won a match since the Obama administration, and here you are, losing to a washed-up has-been. Somebody who's not even a father, because he doesn't even know the greatness of fatherhood, so he's not even going to try. You're going to let a man like that ruin your legacy. Dom, your greatness. You have great blood in your veins. You can't let some washed-up has-been dictate your career. You need to go out there and fix this. He just walks away, and Dom's like, huh, sure. Tough love, I guess. 76, Bronson Reed and Duke Hudson don't seem to click. That feels like bullshit. You know, they're friends. They're both Australian. They'd beat the fuck out of each other. But yeah, Bronson Reed gets the win with the Tsunami, which is what really matters here. 61 for Duke, 68 for Bronson. They don't click, so yeah, ratings are a bit lower. But Bronson Reed is celebrating the win when Chad Gable's music hits, and he comes out. And he just sort of like walks past Bronson Reed on the ramp. Like him and Bronson Reed, you know, just sort of like cross paths, and Gable just laughs at him. And he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is here. Now, I heard all of you. Money in the Bank was going to be Seth Rollins' night. You know, Chad Gable's met his match. You know, Chad Gable in the main event of a pay-per-view. Surely Seth is going to finally fulfill the reason he came back to this company. Back at the Rumble." No, sir. Because Seth Rollins' mind is all over the place. He don't know if he's fighting for himself or the company, against the Nexus, for the Nexus, against CM Punk, for CM Punk. Cody Rhodes is in all of this. John Cena. That's a lot going on. But the only thing going on in my mind is this championship. Okay? And instead of giving time on this show to fat idiots like Bronson Reed and his friends, the spotlight should be on me. Okay? The WWE champion. Undisputed WWE champion. Because every single person I was told I was never going to beat, I did it. And I'm still reigning strong. Your favorite wrestler watching at home, I've beaten him. I'm better than him. I'm smarter than him. I'm stronger than him. You name it, I'm better. And then, like, as Gable's ranting, Bronson Reed sort of rises up behind Gable. And Gable turns around. Bronson Reed drops him with that jagged edge. He goes up top. He hits a tsunami on Chad Gable. And he sort of just looks down and shouts, "Huh? Fat idiot, huh? Fat idiot, huh? I'll see how you like that." And he sort of just walks off. And Gable, you know, is in pain, holding his ribs. But he does get to his feet and, like, grabs the belt. I'm not going to do the endless tsunami spot, because that's to write people off, and it's a heel move. This is just Bronson Reed, you know, getting his lick back because Gable called him a fat idiot. And then get an Undisputed Era promo. And Cole goes, "Gunther, congratulations. That King of the Ring spot was well earned. You're a tough competitor, and my respect to you. But the Undisputed Era, as a whole, going through a rough time. I see all of us lost to Gunther. Kyle and Bobby and Roddy, they lost those trios championships, but we're just sitting here waiting, okay, in the background. We shocked the system before shocking the system was cool. Before CM Punk was back here disrupting the system, we did it first. Before the Nexus were here disrupting the system, we did it first. So you all want to walk around here doing what we do? I assume the thank you card is in the mail, because if it's not, then we've got a mighty fine chip on our shoulder right now. We don't care who's gonna swing. We'll fight back. You think you're the ones who are gonna shock the system? You're gonna be the innovators of TakeOver? I'm Mr. TakeOver, baby. Boom. So yeah, UE have had a rough couple of weeks, but, Adam Cole trying to get his team back on track after, they all lost to Gunther, basically. Adam Cole did beat Ludwig, though, so there's that. Then come backstage. CM Punk. Oh, sorry. John Cena is walking backstage, and Kathy Kelly goes, John, congratulations, your first victory since WrestleMania, and you're going to the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. And John Cena goes, Kathy, I would be insulted that you mentioned how long it's been since I won a match here in WWE. But I'm not. I'm thankful for it, because it's a reality check I need to deal with. Since I lost my Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, it's been a rough time for me. Every chance I've had to try and regain my spot at the top of this company, I'm reminded more and more why I have to retire at the end of the year. More and more why I can't keep up with the modern era. More and more why my time is up and their time is now. But it's not for me that I need to win this tournament. It's for everybody around the world who, when this year started, said they wanted me to win my 17th World Championship. I have all the respect in the world for Ric Flair. Me and him being tied for 16 is fine by me, but they need 17. And King of the Ring, in reality, Kathy, it could be my last shot to get 17. And there's a lot of tough opposition in this tournament bracket, including Dominic tonight. But I have to win. I have to go to SummerSlam. I have to become world champion once more. I don't care who I've got to face to get there. He looks away. CM Punk is there. Him and Cena go face to face. Punk smiling at him. Cena sort of just trying to hide a smile, but he's taken in the aura of this man. He goes, what to talk about last week? Who would have thought? You and I standing side by side in that ring against the Nexus. Last time us two in the Nexus were in a ring, I was on their side. Now I'm on yours. He goes, it's mutual respect, Punk. They need to be stopped. I respect you. But now my focus is on King of the Ring. Punk goes, great. So is mine. Do you know that if I win both my matches and you win both your matches, the Raw final is going to come down to us? And Cena just chuckles. He goes, I did know that, Punk. And at the start of the year, everybody asked me who did I want to wrestle on my retirement tour. It wasn't up to me. It was who the people wanted. And the one name everybody wanted to see wrestle John Cena once more on this retirement tour. CM Punk. So I have to win King of the Ring to win the 17th World Championship for all those people. You have to get to the Raw final so these people get what they want, Phil. And Punk just laughs and goes, I wouldn't miss it for the world. And Chad Gable storms through East Am and goes, hey, get these cameras off these two. They should be on me, okay? Nobody cares about John Cena, who keeps losing matches. Congratulations, he won a match tonight against a coward. And nobody cares about CM Punk, who knows where his allegiances lie, okay? I beat him and took that championship from him and saved this company from him. They should be on me, okay? I know who Bronson Reed thinks he is. But the way he just put his hands on the WWE champion is unacceptable. Okay, I'm not just going to gift a guy like that a championship match. Next week, I'm going to teach him a lesson. He's going to get into the ring with the champ. And I'm going to put him down. Okay? Thank you for your time, Kathy. And he storms off. And, we just see Punk and see him in the background sort of just looking disgusted at Gable and his actions. 84. Charlotte and Tiffany finally have their match. This is actually earlier than it was supposed to be. But Piper's injury changed a lot of creative for these. So I track the match forward now because this was initially the SummerSlam match, 1-on-1. It's not anymore, so it's fine. Charlotte does win, though. She beats Tiffany in 15:27 with the natural selection. 85 for Tiffany Stratton, 80 for Charlotte Flair. So Charlotte does advance to the next round of the Queen of the Ring tournament, where in 2 weeks' time she will face Lyra Valkyria in the quarterfinal of the Queen of the Ring tournament. But yeah, Charlotte pins the Intercontinental Champion here tonight. As well as advancing her to Queen of the Ring, but if she doesn't win that, she finally may have that other championship match in her back pocket. Joe Test, there's no way he tanked it this badly. Like, he can't be this shit. Like, he's a segment host. He's not talking for all 4 of the minutes. Like, yeah, give it a rest, game. So, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins have their face-to-face, like, sit-down interview. And Joe Tessitore goes, Cody, Seth, the history between you two, even since Cody's return to WWE back in 2022, needs no introduction. You faced each other one-on-one countless times. You teamed back at WrestleMania. You've stood side by side in this war against the Antidote and the Nexus. But next week, King of the Ring first round match, you two go one-on-one. And Cody speaks first. He goes, Seth, I feel you. I understand you're getting frustrated. I will be too. I'm getting frustrated with these Nexus guys just as much as you are. But King of the Ring's not about them. Ethan Page, he's the only member of the Nexus in King of the Ring, and CM Punk is going to deal with him tonight. King of the Ring is about one thing. Something more important than the state of Monday Night Raw. Something more important than the Nexus. The undisputed WWE Championship. A championship we've both held. Hell, I took it from you. You've never had it since. You've been trying to get it back, Seth, and I thought the Money in the Bank would be your time, but it wasn't. Chad Gable proved on that night he was better than you. But I don't know if that's true, Seth. I bet if you were to be in the ring with Chad Gable one more time, you'd get the job done, but I feel like I know why you didn't at Money in the Bank. It's because you still don't feel like yourself. You still feel like an imposter, Seth Rollins. Because you can't beat me. And next week, you have a chance to write your own destiny. You can finally put me down, maybe put down CM Punk if it gets that far, and prove that you are the top guy on Monday Night Raw. Prove that you deserve to stand at the mountaintop, at the pinnacle of this industry as the undisputed champion. But I want that same thing, Seth. Bronson Steiner now has Money in the Bank. There's only one guy I know for a fact has what it takes to dig down deep enough to stop him. And it's me. So, Seth, it's nothing personal. But I need this tournament. I need that WWE Championship. I need to reclaim my destiny. For your sake. For Punk's sake. And Seth chuckles goes, well, do you think I give a damn about Punk's sake, huh? If it was up to me, I'd let this place burn with him. Just to spite him. And Cody goes, that's the problem, Seth. You're supposed to be this man, this hero, coming to take the WWE Championship, but all you care about is your petty personal vendetta that you would let this place die if it just despite CM Punk one time. That's the petty vendetta that you couldn't get out of your head walking into Money in the Bank after you beaten CM Punk. Because all you were thinking about was beating CM Punk. And your mind wasn't on the WWE Championship, but the same as next week, all you're going to be thinking about is beating me. And that's why you won't beat me. You are your own worst enemy, Seth. And next week I don't want to fight Seth Rollins fighting Seth Rollins. I want to fight Seth Rollins fighting Cody Rhodes. The man who ended Roman Reigns' WWE Championship reign. The man who fought me tooth and nail to stop me finishing my story. Where is that Seth? He's in there. And I want him. Because at the end of the day, you bring him out. That's great for everybody else around here because we got the best version of the protagonist out. But I know I can beat him. Because I have before. See you next week, Seth. May the best man win. Seth, he's got about 2 words into this whole thing. He's sort of just been staring at Cody the whole time. And he looks down at Cody's handshake. He does accept the handshake. And they both stand up and go nose to nose. And Seth just goes, next week. Win, lose, or draw. You're going to regret pushing me to this. And Cody just laughs and goes, I promise you, no, I will not. And they walk away. Tegan Knox, she's frustrated. She's like in the doctor's office after her defeat, getting annoyed. And then that's when Tiffany Stratton barges in. She goes, can you believe it? Okay, that crown, it was so go with like my gear I have. So that Queen of the Ring crown would look perfect on me, like a little tiara, like the princess I am. Except I'd have evolved into a queen, but now that's not going to happen because of stupid Charlotte and this stupid tournament. And and he goes, wow, what happened to me being a loser, Tiffany? Huh? He goes, oh, shut it, you. Okay, why is the weird girl talking to me? Okay, ick. Why? You've got a tournament match next week and you're going to lose that too, you little gremlin. Tegan goes, well, as it stands right now, I'm still in the tournament and you're not. So, you running your little mouth didn't actually get you very far, did it, Tiffy? Toodles. And then she just turns around and goes, ew, why is the weird kid speaking to me? Okay, I've had a rough night as it is and now these people think they can talk to me? Ugh, that damn Charlotte. Next week, I have a pretty stacked show, including 2 King and Queen of the Ring first round matches, as Cody Rhodes battles Seth Rollins, and will be probably a Raw Classic main event. They've had plenty of matches before. I don't know if they've had a match on Raw since the one back in 2022, which was a King of the Ring final, technically. Well, no, it wasn't. Because they had the King of the Ring final. And then Cody used the King of the Ring win on Raw. And then they had another match to see who'd go to SummerSlam. So it was like, yeah. But I think that was the last singles match Seth and Cody had on Raw. At least. But they're going to run it back next week. As well as Gunther versus LA Knight. Gunther looking to become king and remind the world he is the greatest. LA Knight, a former King of the Ring winner in his own right, looking to become a 2-time LA King. Also on the women's side, Jade Cargill, the former WWE Women's Champion, looks to get her throne back. She faces off against Tegan Knox and Alexa Bliss and Blair Davenport in a first round Queen of the Ring match. Also, non-title action, Chad Gable wants to sort things out with Bronson Reed. He started this by poking the bear, quite literally. And next week, we'll see if Bronson Reed can upset the WWE Champion or not. Then see CM Punk. He's coming out of his locker room. He's got his jacket on. And Ace Austin and Chris Bay approach him. They go, Punk. Because we know Bronson Steiner is going to be out there tonight. That's a big threat. Obviously, we're going to have your back, and we're going to be out there for you if you want me out there. And Punk goes, it's good to know I've got your back. You've got my back, kids. But, we can't have 3 of us out there if there's only 2 members of the Nexus, because then we become what we hate. So I appreciate you both. I love you both. But I'm more than capable of handing both Bronson Steiner and Ethan Page their ass tonight. And they're like, okay, yeah, good luck, Punk. And then Punk walks forward. We follow him into Gorilla. When we see him, like, sort of stop. And he notices someone off screen. We pan across, and Paul Heyman is stood there. And he waddles into frame, goes face to face with Punk. And he goes, between you and I, don't disrespect Ethan Page. I know he looks like a joke, he acts like a joke, but he's a serious competitor in that ring. He goes, I know, Paul. I know, Ethan. We go way back. And he goes, and also, Bronson Steiner. You need somebody to take care of Bronson Steiner. And Punk goes, I'll do my best, Paul. Thanks. Hey, it's good having you around here again. And Heyman goes, trust. I don't plan on going away anymore. Good luck out there, Punk. He sort of just pats him on the back. You know, friendly interaction between 2 people who are still friends in this world. CM Punk and Paul Heyman. 96 rated main event. Holy shit, let's go, Ethan Page. He's arrived, brother. He gets a 75, Punk gets a 93, and the match gets a 96. Fuck yeah. Let's go. I was sort of iffy on this being the main event because Ethan Page was in it. But yeah, let's go. Demon. Punk and Ethan Page. It's actually kind of competitive. Bronson Steiner is out there, but a lot of the time he's just standing around doing nothing. Like, he's not really getting involved. And, you know, he's got the briefcase, just stood there, you know, just glaring. And Punk and Ethan Page are having their match. You know, Ethan Page hits the twisted grin on Punk. He gets a 2 count, Punk kicks out. I'm not going to have him kick out of a GTS, so I'm going to do the thing where he hits it, and Ethan Page sort of staggers out of the ring, and, you know, Punk can't catch him, and he rolls to the outside. And then as he goes to the outside to pick Ethan Page up, Bronson Steiner, you know, sort of just stands guard over Ethan Page. And Punk just chuckles in Bronson Steiner's face. He, like, sort of shoves Bronson Steiner back. Bronson Steiner sees red like a fucking bull. Like, he wants to charge in there and spear Punk in half. Ethan Page like, whoa, stop, you're going to get me DQ'd. Okay? And then Ethan Page gets back into the ring. And then they fight for like another minute or 2. Punk goes for the knee in the corner. Ethan Page pulls the referee in the way. Bang. Ref bump. And Punk looks down the ref like, fuck, well, how the fuck did that happen? Ethan Page, he gives that grin to Bronson Steiner on the outside of the ring. And then Bronson Steiner gets into the ring. He cuts Punk in half with a spear. Crowd's booing. You know, Punk, you know, he's down and out. Ethan Page, you know, he's grinning his ass off in the corner. Bronson Steiner, he rips his shirt off and he's getting all fired up. The crowd's barking with him. He backs into the corner like he's going to give Punk another spear. When the music of the tribal chief hits and Roman Reigns wanders down, Paul Heyman by his side. You know, Ethan Page and Bronson Steiner, they've seen a ghost. Bronson Steiner, you know, he's waiting for Roman in the ring. He's calling him on, but he's taking his sweet-ass time to aura farm down the ring. He gets into the ring. Bronson's charging at him with a spear. Superman punch. Rocks Mr. Money in the Bank. Crowd's going crazy. They're shaking ass for their tribal chief. He backs into the corner. Ooh, ah. He spears Bronson Steiner. Bronson Steiner rolls to the outside. Roman's getting all fired up. Roman slides out of the ring. Him and Heyman start walking back up the ramp. Punk sees Roman and Heyman leaving. Heyman sort of just smiles at him. Roman looks over his shoulder, sort of glares approvingly, I guess. But he's never going to show respect to Punk. But he just sort of, he's doing this for his wise man, And Punk, he turns around. Ethan Page kicks him in the midsection. He goes for a twisted grin. In my mind, this is like the Jeff Hardy RKO, where he goes for the thing. Randy spins him completely around, RKOs him. It's that, but he pushes him round, and then as Ethan Page turns back around, he's on his shoulders. Bang! GTS. 1, 2, 3, and CM Punk advances into the King of the Ring quarterfinals. 93 for Punk, 75 for Ethan Page. So yeah, Punk and John Cena advance in the King of the Ring tournament. Gunther or LA Knight will stand in Punk's way. And that match will take place next week. But for now, Punk's celebrating. Roman Reigns on the ramp. He's back. He's giving that Roman Reigns, half smile. As Heyman's smiling alongside him, helping his other friend, CM Punk, combat the Nexus. The men who took out Roman Reigns here tonight. No Cody, no Seth. No problem. 92 Raid show. Sure, we take them. Oh, might as well as a U4 of the show. Do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the other side for Heat. Heat kicks off with a quick match. Chelsea Green, who, last week, spat at Malcolm Bivens. Their issue's still ongoing. They're not finished. Chelsea's still wrangling up divas. If only there was a women's pay-per-view or something coming up, which is delaying that. But Chelsea does pick up a win here against Zeta Steel with a Vampiridia in 10 minutes and 8. 40 for Zeta, 61 for Chelsea. Zeta is sort of divas coded, so Chelsea would probably like to wrestle her and, have a match on Heat to try and get her over. But Chelsea does get the win. She doesn't get many wins because she's Chelsea Green. She doesn't need many wins, but I want to give her some. 59, I'll take that. That's actually pretty good. Kendall Gray, who last week was a part of... she teamed with Lainey Reed against the Page sisters, I believe, in a losing effort. And then obviously Zoe Stark being Zoe Stark and wanting to recruit real grapplers and real wrestlers. Tried to, talk to Kendall. Kendall ended up suplexing her and taking her down. And she gets a singles win here tonight against Anne-Marie Porter. 70 for Anne-Marie, 34 for Kendall. So yeah, nice win for her. An NXT girl being a main roster girl on Heat. And after the match, Zoe Stark does come out and she goes, Kendall, again, congratulations on your win tonight. Now, last week we got off on the wrong foot, okay? There's a part of me that wants to respect you for continuing to put your hands on me and making a name for yourself the way you did last week. But I'm going to give you tonight, after a big win, to save face and apologize to the world for what you did to me. And Zoe throws his hands on the mic. Can I go, Zoe? I'm sorry that you're failing so miserably to get people on your side. Maybe it's because nobody likes an obnoxious bitch. And so she gets angry. She goes to jump, throw her hand at Kendall. Kendall counters it into an armbar. She traps Zoe Stark in an armbar. Zoe taps out, obviously, and she retreats back up the ramp. Kendall Gray, all fired up. She pulls her straps down. She screams, get back in the ring to finish the fight. But Zoe backs away. Yeah. One thing I realized, I say this a lot about Heat, but I used to say a lot about, the mid-card women. How I need more Heat stories. I should be doing more stuff like this. Where, an NXT girl gets a story. And, it gets a story and a beef with a main roster woman. 64-way tag match. Alba Farr and Iona Webb get a quick win over Hayes Jameson and Summer Sorrell in 9 minutes and 12. 18 for the two Dev girls, 84 for Alba, 73 for Iona Webb. And the main event gets a 71. Ivy Nile against Tracy Sharrow. Ivy gets a 63, 66 for Tracy. Ivy is somebody else who, never wins. So she's one of those in purgatory where she's a mid-carder. She never gets to really win, and I don't want to keep beating her. She's one of my go-to mid-carders to beat on Heat, but I need to throw those people wins every now and again. So yeah, Ivy gets a win over Tracy Sharrow. The rest of the next gen girls, Tracy, Lucy, and Samantha, I'm not sure about whether they're going to stay around or whether that was a write-off, because I don't really see why they need to still be around if Kathy's sort of going solo. Nene's got her gimmick, and then Leafy can go back to NXT and, find characters, quote-unquote, too, before coming back up in the future. But Kathy and Nene like the two that will be staying around. But yeah, Ivy Nile wins to end Heat, which gets us a 66. Kendall Gray was slightly overused. It's fine. We're trying to get NXT people over and do fun, different things on Heat. But yeah, I'll see you next time for ECW. See you then.